first of two rallies of the day. His events come amid the latest allegations of sexual misconduct, which he is strongly denying. For more reaction, let's bring in Scott Jennings. He's a Republican strategist who ran Mitt Romney's 2012 Ohio campaign. Scott is also a former White House Deputy Director of Political Affairs under George W. Bush. Thanks for talking with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Between denying these accusations and offering up conspiracy theories, give me your take. How effective is Trump's approach in your opinion? And talk about who he's reaching here. And can he actually talk to people beyond his base?
Well, he's trying to keep that base together. If you look at some of the national polling that's come out recently, he's lost a little bit of ground among Republicans. He's down to about 80% of Republicans supporting him nationally. It's hard to imagine a candidate winning the White House with less than 90% support of their own party, particularly when the electoral map is already stacked against your party, apart from the candidacies or what's going on in the world. So I think he's trying to keep that base together, and I think he's trying to stoke fears about the honesty and trustworthiness of big media, which people don't trust, and Hillary Clinton, which people also don't trust. So that's his strategy. I don't know that it will be successful, but that's probably the only path he sees to the White House at this point.
And Scott, there's a bigger picture here. How concerned are you about Trump's supporters who want to punish down-ballot candidates for speaking out against him in light of these allegations?
I'm not concerned about punishing people with their votes. I'm concerned about people not turning out at all. However, I am heartened by the fact that in Senate races, other than Illinois, you see Republicans holding their own and, in fact, winning in some states that Democrats 6 to 8 months ago thought were going to be slam dunks for their party. So I think right now one of the things you might look forward to in the down-ballot races, if people start to get a sense that Clinton is going to win, will they want to balance that by sending Republicans back to the Senate and back to Congress to create a balance, because they don't want one party to have unfettered access to the levers in Washington.
Let's talk about Hillary Clinton for a moment. Do you think she's helping herself by staying off the campaign trail, really, while Trump deals with this controversy?
I've always thought Hillary Clinton should do a better job of pressing her own case. She's soft as well right now. She's also down in the low 80s among Democrats. If you look at some of the national polling, I think some of the WikiLeaks revelations have hurt her with some of the Bernie Sanders supporters. And look, about a third of the country thinks she's honest and trustworthy, and two-thirds don't. And so she needs to do more to shore herself up. I don't think that the election is over. Certainly Trump has a smaller chance to win than he did a week ago, but it is still not an impossibility, and she is still a little bit soft in some polling in states like New Hampshire, where Trump is today, where she has a lead in the low single digits. So I do believe Clinton is winning. I do believe it's likely she will win, but she's still a little bit soft among some people, and I think she could do more to shore up her victory if she really tried.
Well, on that note, key allies like Newt Gingrich are criticizing Trump for lashing out at House Speaker Paul Ryan. Take a look at this. Meanwhile, Politico is reporting that the RNC hasn't spent a dime on ads for Trump. And now big Republican donors are telling the New York Times that they want the RNC to dump Trump. So do you think this is a tipping point?
Well, look, it's not that simple for the RNC. This is a party that held a convention and a primary process that nominated Donald Trump. So it's not as simple as just breaking ties with the person that you nominated, and that's not really possible in the way the campaign finance laws work anyway. So I think that right now Donald Trump is doing the only thing he thinks that he can do, run against things that are unpopular. Washington and big media. If you look at some of the national polling on who do people trust, no one trusts the media, and no one trusts Washington, and no one likes Washington. So that's what Donald Trump is trying to do right now. It's going to sound extremely negative, but if you're Trump and you think you have a small chance to win, you've got to find the only path that looks open, and that's probably it.
I'm interested in getting, before you leave me here, your take on what's happening in Utah. So we have two polls conducted after the debate that shows former CIA agent and independent candidate Evan McMullin gaining momentum here. So one poll shows Trump with a 6-point lead after being tied with Clinton in an earlier poll. Is this a matter of home field advantage for McMullin, or how do you explain what's happening there?
Well, I think Donald Trump has had problems in the LDS community with voters who come from the Mormon faith. The McMullin people will tell you that they're getting some attention from even non-Mormon voters out there. Their Google search rankings have been spiking. They also say that there's going to be more polling data, in their opinion, that's going to show some strength for McMullin in Utah. For Trump, this is a huge problem. You can't lose any of the Romney states and still have a path to 270. And right now there are 4 states, Arizona, Utah, Georgia, and North Carolina, all red states in 2012 and all on the brink or very close in this election. So you have to win all those if you're Trump. For Clinton, Utah was never in her path to 270 anyway, so she doesn't probably care who wins it as long as she's still on path in the states that she needs to get to 270 votes.
All right, so with that said, I'll end it here. In an op-ed this week, you said Trump did better during the second debate. So are there points he can, in your opinion, build on for the final debate on Wednesday?
Sure. I've always thought the place where he's going to prosecute the best case against Clinton is on the economy. The core of his candidacy has been he's a private businessman who can create jobs in the private sector, and she's a creature of government who has no idea how to fix the economy. When he gets away from that and distracted from that, he's losing. And if you look at the national polling that came out on Friday, he's now losing on every issue segment, including the economy. He's got to get back to trade, he's got to get back to jobs, and he's got to get back to the fact that most people don't want career politicians in office right now. And if he gets back to those issues, all focused on the economy, it could be a better night. But if he gets distracted and we spend most of the debate talking about things that aren't in that issue set, it's probably going to be another a bad night, or at least a draw. And a draw right now is not good enough to catch up.
Very good conversation. Scott Jennings, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Happening now, planning an attack, but not with bombs.